The 1980s were loud, colorful, and full of personality, and that energy wasn't just in the music, fashion, or movies. It was in the food, too. From neon-colored sodas to oversized cookies, the snacks of the 80s were bold, experimental, and unforgettable. But here's the thing. Some of those foods have completely disappeared, never to return. In this video, we're going to take a nostalgic journey through 10 unforgettable foods from the 1980s that will never come back. These were the treats that filled lunchboxes, lined supermarket shelves, and made after-school snacks feel like an adventure. And while they live on in our memories, sadly, they're gone forever. So grab your Walkman, slip on those neon leg warmers, and let us rewind the VHS tape of time to relive the foods of the 80s that we'll never taste again. 1. Hubba Bubba soda. When you think of bubblegum, you probably imagine chewing it, not drinking it. But in the 1980s, Wrigley's decided to push boundaries with Hubba Bubba soda. This fizzy drink tasted exactly like bubblegum and came in bright pink bottles that screamed 80s fun. The idea was to capture the success of the gum and turn it into a liquid novelty. Kids loved it for the wacky flavor, while parents weren't always as thrilled. It was sugary, strange, and a perfect reflection of the era's experimental spirit. Unfortunately, the novelty wore off fast. Many people realized they didn't actually want to drink something that tasted like chewing gum. By the late 80s, Hubba Bubba soda was discontinued. Still, its brief moment of fame makes it a true time capsule of the decade. Proof that in the 80s, no idea was too weird to try. 2. Oreo Big Stuf. Imagine a cookie the size of your palm. That's what Oreo gave us in 1984, with the launch of Oreo Big Stuf, packaged individually in foil wrappers. Each Big Stuf cookie was almost 10 times larger than a regular Oreo. It wasn't just a snack, it was a meal. The commercials promised more cream, more fun, more Oreo, and kids begged their parents to buy them. For a while, it worked. Big Stuf Oreos became a hit in lunchboxes and after-school snacks. But there was a problem: the size. The cookie was so big, it was difficult to finish in one sitting, and it didn't stay fresh once opened. Add to that rising concerns about sugar and portion sizes in the late 80s, and Oreo Big Stuf disappeared by 1991. Still, if you grew up in the 80s, you'd probably remember peeling open that foil wrapper and thinking you'd just won the snack lottery. 3. Pepsi AM. The 1980s were a time when people were constantly on the go, and coffee wasn't always the drink of choice in the morning. Pepsi saw an opportunity and launched Pepsi AM in 1989, a soda designed specifically for breakfast. The concept? It had more caffeine than regular Pepsi, but less than coffee. The marketing tagline was bold: the soda for breakfast people. Some people embraced it, happy to swap their morning coffee for a carbonated pick-me-up, but for most, the idea felt wrong. Soda in the morning didn't catch on the way Pepsi hoped. Sales flopped, and by the early 90s, Pepsi AM was gone. Today, it's remembered as one of the strangest soda experiments of the 80s. And, while energy drinks later found massive success, Pepsi AM remains a quirky reminder that timing and branding are everything. If for Jell-O pudding pops. If you were a kid in the 1980s, chances are you remember Jell-O pudding pops, marketed with memorable commercials starring Bill Cosby. These frozen treats were creamy, smooth, and delicious, basically pudding on a stick. They came in flavors like chocolate, vanilla, and swirl, and quickly became a freezer staple for families across America. Kids loved them for the taste, parents loved them for the affordability, and Jell-O raked in millions in sales. But by the 1990s, sales started to slump. Competition from other frozen desserts, rising prices, and changes in consumer tastes eventually led to their disappearance. Kraft tried to revive them briefly in the 2000s, but they never regained their glory. For many, Jell-O pudding pops remain the ultimate symbol of 80s frozen desserts. Gone forever, but never forgotten. 5. Giggles Cookies. In the mid-1980s, Nabisco launched Giggles Cookies, a fun snack for kids shaped like smiling faces. Each cookie sandwich had vanilla or chocolate cream inside, and the playful design made them instantly appealing. Commercials showed kids laughing as they bit into their giggles, and the brand became a minor hit. Parents liked them because they were a fun alternative to Oreos, while kids loved collecting the different face designs. Unfortunately, Giggles Cookies never became a mega hit. As the novelty wore off and other snacks took over, sales declined. By the early 90s, Nabisco quietly discontinued them. Today, collectors still talk about Giggles Cookies with fondness, and vintage packaging often sells online as nostalgia items. 6. Fruit Brute cereal. General Mills is known for its line of monster cereals: Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Boo Berry. But in 1974, they introduced a fourth member, Fruit Brute, a fruit-flavored cereal with marshmallows, though technically introduced in the 70s. Fruit Brute gained its biggest popularity in the 80s. The cereal even appeared in movies by Quentin Tarantino, cementing its cult status. Still, sales never matched its monster siblings. By 1982, Fruit Brute was discontinued, though it occasionally returned in limited editions. For kids of the 80s, though, it's remembered as the cereal that stood out for its colorful wolf mascot and fruity flavor. 7. Planters Cheez Balls. Few snacks scream 80s nostalgia like Planters Cheez Balls. Packaged in bright blue canisters, these crunchy, cheesy snacks became a staple at parties, school lunches, and movie nights. The appeal was simple: fun packaging, addictive flavor, and that satisfying orange dust that coated your fingers. Sadly, by the early 2000s, Planters discontinued Cheez Balls due to declining sales. Fans were devastated, and for years, online petitions begged for their return. Planters did briefly re-release them in 2018, but only for a limited time. Oh well, some lucky fans got to relive the taste. The original magic of the 80s Cheez Balls can never truly come back. 8. Pepsi Free approximately equals 250 words. Long before diet sodas became mainstream, Pepsi experimented with Pepsi Free. A caffeine-free cola launched in 1982. It was famously featured in the movie Back to the Future, when Marty McFly asked for a Pepsi Free at a 1950s diner. The soda appealed to families who wanted the taste of Pepsi without the caffeine, making it a unique choice for kids and late-night drinkers. By the late 80s, however, Pepsi Free was rebranded as Caffeine-Free Pepsi, and the original free branding disappeared. For collectors of 80s nostalgia, though, Pepsi Free remains an iconic drink that belongs to that decade alone. 9. PB Max launched in 1989. PB Max was a candy bar made of peanut butter, oats, and a chocolate coating. Marketed as a more grown-up candy bar, it became popular among peanut butter lovers. The ads bragged about how we'll eat anything with peanut butter, and for a while, sales were strong. But despite success, Mars discontinued PB Max in the 90s. The official reason? Mars executives reportedly didn't like peanut butter. Seriously? So even though PB Max made over $50 million in sales, it was killed off. For candy fans of the late 80s, PB Max remains one of the most baffling discontinued snacks ever. 10. Hi-C Ecto Cooler, technically launched in 1987 as a tie-in with Ghostbusters. Hi-C Ecto Cooler became an 80s icon. The neon green citrus drink featured Slimer from Ghostbusters on the packaging, and quickly became a lunchbox favorite. Kids loved the tangy flavor and the fun branding, while parents appreciated the convenience of juice boxes. Though it lasted into the 1990s, Ecto Cooler eventually faded away. Hi-C brought it back briefly for the Ghostbusters movie reboots, but it was never a permanent return. For fans of the 80s, Ecto Cooler is more than a drink. It's a memory of Saturday morning cartoons, action figures, and school lunches. And there you have it, 10 foods from the 1980s that will never come back. From giant Oreos to neon green drinks, the snacks of the 80s were as bold and unforgettable as the decade itself. These foods remind us of a time when companies weren't afraid to experiment, to take risks, and to capture our imaginations with fun packaging and wild flavors. Some failed, some thrived for a while, but all of them left a mark on food history. Which one of these foods do you remember the most? If you could bring just one back, which would it be? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more nostalgic trips through America's food history. Till next time, keep the memories alive and keep snacking on nostalgia.